next example we have here is AMP coin. Now, let's go ahead and start the process all over again, and we're going to create support, resistance, and trend lines if we find any. So I'm going to go into my monthly and add in the top at 43,000 Satoshis, and there's going to be a bottom here roughly at 2,900 Satoshis. And as again, you guys, as you continue to do this on a daily chart after chart, it becomes a lot easier. So feel free to pause the video, review the chart, and just practice, practice, practice. Let's go now to the 1 week. Let's see if we find anything that's relevant here. And I do see something right in here. If you see this area, we have an area of a break, comes down, comes right back up, busts through, falls back to the same area, moves even higher, falls right down, and it continues to play in this zone, falls all the way down here, creates a double bottom, which some of you can check to see is going to be another a chart pattern that you can look up later, and just continues to come up and seems to have some type of resistance here. So we have here's going to be resistance, support, support, falls through, becomes resistance, and resistance. So we're going to add a line in here. And because it's a weekly, I'm going to change the color in it as well. And let's see what else we have here. Okay, now let's go to the 1 day. Zoom out. And I do see this area right here. Although it is close to the week line we have here, this also showing some type of relevance. Why? Because we have a support, support, falls through the support, this sideways movement or ranging, goes upwards, hits the support that is now resistance, falls, resistance, falls, and kind of breaks through. But as you can see, it does have relevance, so we are going to add that in there. There we go, that's where it's at. Oh, well, sometimes it's better to be on point, and I am a little nitpicky. I try to do my lines as accurately as possible, but if you're off by a little, that's okay. It's just you're going to get the gist, and you at some point in the future, you will see that you won't even need support and resistance lines. Okay. But this is a great way, this is how I learned to really, really be able to see the chart and see the support, resistance, and trend lines. So this is going to be daily. All right. And we also see what I have here in the daily. We have a upward trend. So let's go ahead and also mark that. There you go. And let's clone it and see if we have anything that is following the upward side of this channel. Some channels will be perfectly parallel, others will not. This one's almost right on point, so actually we can go a little higher here. There we go. So that's actually a really good channel there. So let's go into the 4 hour now. And if you see within the 4 hours, it's actually another slight uptrend. So let's also notate that. Oh. And this here will be a 4 hour color. Wait, now let's go to the 1 hour. I don't see anything Now, if you look at this area, if I were to have to put a line here to resemble or to signify the resistance support zones, it would be this whole general area. So it'd be something like this, but I'm not going to confuse you. I just want to give you a visual. We're just going to go ahead and leave as is. But this zone right in here would play as, or in this case would be resistance, 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 broke through, and now maybe following all the way through or staying in this zone as we see it play out before in the previous coin. Now, if we look at volume seems to be increasing here. Now, when volume increases, it's not just buy or sell volume, it's just overall volume. That's the blue line. Now, what's going to signify the actual buy or sell are the green bars and the red bars. So right now it seems these last few bars is more sellers and buy volume is slightly tapering off, but let's go ahead and go into Poloniex and get a more detailed look at the volume. AMP. So currently there's 713 Bitcoin current volume, so that's a good amount of volume. And let's also compare the buy orders and the sell orders. Oh, let's see, we're still on balance, so let's go to AMP. And I was reading that the current volume right here. But we want to see the buy and the sell. That's something that I see that has helped me in my strategy to really put me on that edge or give me the edge to say I'm going to buy or I'm not going to buy. And of course, following the support resistance and also following my risk management. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to apply this here, 6727944. And that's, so we have out of total sales, there's 868 Bitcoin in the sell orders. And the buy orders is 380. So let's go ahead and I'm going to break out the calculator. And I'm going to divide 379. Let's see here, 379 divided by 868. It's about a 43%. Now, in this case, I would actually, because of that, buy orders is about 50% of what there is in sell orders. I would probably buy it. But let's go back and make sure we are at an okay zone to buy. Now, as you see, actually, it's moving on us as we see it. So it can, I would say, come in here. This would be better put right there. And this needs to grow a little further up. Right in there. Now, in this case, although we have a good amount of buy orders versus sell orders, volume is there, but I feel this is too much of a risk. I would wait till it would retrace back into this zone, because as you see, it is not necessarily respecting this support zone. It seems to be falling through, but we don't know what it's going to do next. So you can wait for confirmation, or if it does actually come back up and stay in the zone, has a possibility of going up. But in this case, I would not buy. This is not a go for me. Okay, let's go ahead and put in the risk management just to make sure you can see what I'm talking about. So let's say we decided we wanted to buy. Okay, we're going to apply that right here at the 12,866. And if we set our stop at the 5%, I'm just going to tell you right there, 5%. And our target, since this is a weekly line, this purple one here, we're going to say more than likely that will be a resistance or a point of return before moving forward, if that's the case. So we would see a possible return of 13% or 1 to 2.73 ratio, which is okay. Now, if you see, I would much rather purchase down here below this. That way, I would have a possible higher return as well as I would be able to slim down on my actual stop limit. Instead of having it 5%, since we are at a support at this point, I would actually bring down my stop at 3% right here at this wick. That's to be the area. If I were to make a trade in this with this coin, I would definitely go in right here. And let me zoom out so you can get an overall view of what's happening. There we go. Okay, great. All right, class. Class is ended, and we'll talk to you soon.